Minasan, konnichiwa. Have you ever been really angry with someone and you wanted to ask them to go away, to leave you alone? Welcome to Jen's Jyugyou. My name is Jen, and today we're going to take a look at 13 different ways to ask someone to go away. The first way that you can ask someone to leave you alone is to go away. Go away is probably one of the most common ways that people ask others to leave. It's a little bit rude and informal though. So let's take a look at some examples of more formal expressions to ask people to leave and work our way down to the least formal, the most informal ways to ask people to go away. The second way that you can ask someone to go away is, could you please leave? Or, would you please leave? So could you or would you? So you're asking someone a question. You're not expecting an answer. You're expecting them to say, oh, no problem, and leave. So could you please leave? Or would you please leave? Number 3, would you mind leaving, please? Would you mind leaving, please? This is a polite way to ask someone to leave. Number 4 is formal and is also often something you might hear someone working in a certain place say to people who are in that building or in that area. So, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. If you want to make this expression more polite, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, then you can put I'm afraid in front. Okay? So you might remember from one of my earlier lessons that I'm afraid doesn't mean that, oh my God, I'm so scared. No. I'm afraid is a polite way of saying sorry or excuse me, right? So I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Number 5 is a very formal way that you might hear a security guard or police officer asking someone to leave. Not really asking, more like telling them to leave. Allow me to escort you off the premises. This expression means you need to leave, so I'm going to make you leave, come with you to the exit and make sure you are gone. Bye-bye. Allow me to escort you off the premises. The next expression could be used formally or informally. It's, I think it's time for you to leave. If you say it formally, sorry, I think it's time for you to leave. Or, I think it's time for you to leave. Okay? So depending on the tone of your voice, it could sound formal or informal. You could also say, I think it's time for you to go. Or, I think it's time you left. I think it's time you left sounds a little bit angrier, right? So, I think it's time you left. Doesn't sound right, so most people would say it in an angry way. I think it's time you left. The next expression is often used if people have just had some kind of fight or argument, disagreement, and you want the other person to go away because you're so angry, and if they don't go away, you might say something that you regret later. However, you still want to be polite in this situation because when you're angry, you don't want to accidentally say something bad. So, I think I need some space, or could you give me some space, please? Okay? So this space means you need distance from the other person. So you need them to go away so that you can calm down and relax and then talk to them later. So could you give me some space, please? I think I need some space. The next one is also really good if you've had an argument with someone and you need some space. You could also say, I think I need to be alone right now. I think I need to be alone right now. Or, I just need to be alone right now. Okay? So I think I need to be alone right now. I just need to be alone right now are clear signs that you need the other person to go away so that you can relax before continue speaking. If you're really upset though, and you can't find the words, I think I need to be alone right now, you might just say, leave me alone! Leave me alone! Very clear sign that you want that other person to go away from you. So as you can tell, we're starting to get a little bit ruder. Leave me alone is very strong, right? Just like go away can also be very strong. This next one is one of the most common ways that a lot of people I know use and that I also use when I really need someone to go away. It is get lost. Get lost! Okay? You can never say this one in a polite way. Get lost. Similar to get lost, you want that person to leave. You don't care if you're being polite or not. This expression is take a hike. Take a hike. Number 11 could be used separately. Each of these two expressions could be said by themselves, but they're often said together at the same time. So one expression is beat it, and the other expression is scram. Okay, so beat it and scram are often said together. Beat it, scram! Number 12. This expression can be said two different ways. One is just get out. Okay, get out. Or many people will say get out of here. So it's get out of here, but when you're angry and speaking like a native speaker, you don't say get out of here, you say get out of here. You join your words together, which is what's called conjoined speech. I made a video about this earlier, so if you'd like to check that out, you can do that over here. And the last sets of expressions that I have for you to tell someone to go away are expressions that are usually only said to children or to animals. If you say any of these expressions to an adult, it sounds very, very rude, too rude. Even if you're angry, you won't use these expressions because it sounds really weird to say them to adults. Okay? So for children, you can say, run along now, right? You want them to leave you alone, run along now. You can also use this with animals. If a dog is coming to you, I don't know this dog, what's going on? Run along now. Similar to run along, but not used as often and very informal is skedaddle. Skedaddle, run along now, skedaddle. You can definitely tell a child or an animal who's bothering you, skedaddle. And if you're just talking to an animal, shoo, shoo, right? So if some kind of cat starts coming towards me as I'm trying to have a picnic, shoo, shoo, skedaddle, run along now. Those three expressions, run along, skedaddle, and shoo, should only be used with children and animals. Today, you learned over 13 different expressions to ask someone to leave, to tell them to go away. Hopefully these expressions will be useful for you in your conversations. Just remember not to be rude in situations where you should be polite. And now it's time for Question of the Day. Today's question is, when is a time that you asked someone to leave or a time that someone told you to go away? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it useful, please hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Mina, benkyo, ganbatte ne! Ja ne! I'm gonna have to ask you to leave now, but please subscribe to Jen's Jyugyou if you haven't already, and come on back for the next lesson.